Hey guys, it's Mooty here, and welcome to another episode of VGC Prep. So last night I was streaming and I was on Battle Spot. I had a pretty decent record somehow. We played a drinking game with it and it was a lot of fun. And I managed to get my rating up to, I want to say like maybe 50 to 60 points, something like that. But yeah, so if you enjoy this episode, you can always leave a like. I would appreciate it. We're actually at 1577 right now with a win-loss of 7-2. It could have been a lot worse. I'm just telling you guys that much. It could have been a lot worse. So the team I'm using today is a Trick Room team, and it's one that Kevin gave me. So, excuse me. Well, we're going against someone who's significantly higher than me, but they seem to be running Abomasnow, which is their mega. Cavalier, what do you even? Well, I don't have any intimidators to really have to watch out for Bishop, but my luck doesn't really need to come on the team this time because he's got no intimidators that would really help if I brought. But what I can do is, I mean, going for Hariyama lead seems to be good. Like, obviously, the only thing I'd have to watch out for is Togekiss, but I could just fake it out if I have to, and then Cresselia is usually the guy I like to go with after, right beside Hariyama, and then I'm gonna go with Camerupt in the back for a fire type because even Heatran, as long as he doesn't have Air Balloon, doesn't want to be taking obviously Earth powers, and Fire seems to hit a lot of his team pretty hard as well, so that's why I want to take it. And for the last slot, it's a kind of a toss-up between Sylveon and Ferrothorn. I'm almost thinking Ferrothorn because of the Bisharp that he has. If Bisharp wants to knock me off or even go for a Sucker Punch or anything like that, even though I don't really know why I would want to, or an Iron Head, the Rocky Helmet plus Iron Barbs would do a decent amount. So, I mean, it would also be pretty good against the Jellicent as well. And Sylveon, although, like, Sylveon, looking at this team, though, would not be helping us out that much. He doesn't really have any significant fairy weaknesses. He actually has three steel types, so one of them is definitely coming along. So I might as well bring in Ferrothorn as the last one, as he's still, he almost picked his Pokemon. But yeah, hopefully my choice in Pokemon is good, and if you haven't seen, or if you haven't joined us on our stream, then you'll definitely see the power of this Trick Room team. A lot of people are like, whoa, that's really good. All I went against last night was Kanga every single freaking battle. So, what's his name? Hariyama does kind of help against that. So he does lead Togekiss, Jellicent. Another mistake that a lot of people make is wanting to Will-O-Wisp the Hariyama and then finding out that I have Guts. So, the obvious problem Pokemon here is the Togekiss, so I'm going to fake that thing out. Besides, I can't fake out Jellicent anyway, so I'm just going to fake out that. And then I'm going to go for a Trick Room. Granted, his Pokemon aren't exactly fast, but they're not meant for Trick Room, unless for some reason he's running Pokemon that are meant for Trick Room without Trick Room. But, okay, so he's running Trick Room as well. That's gonna be really fun to deal with. Note the sarcasm. Well, clearly I want to get rid of Jellicent. I wasn't expecting Trick Room on Jellicent of all Pokemon. Or I could just go and Stone Edge the Togekiss. I know a helping-handed Stone Edge would take out the Togekiss, and maybe there's a chance he's going to want to go for Trick Room again, but I kind of doubt it. But on the off chance he doesn't, I should take this Air Slash. I mean, alright, I'll definitely live it because I have the, I had the, what is it called? The Assault Vest, so Air Slash Flinch. Air Slash Flinch in that turn is completely useless. That was not fun at all. That actually really sucks because Hariyama would have been really useful to have, but at this point Hariyama's dead. I just wanted to be able to kill the Togekiss, which is a huge pain in the butt, but I guess it doesn't really matter what I do now. So I guess we'll try and go for Trick Room again. That was really annoying. Maybe he'll miss Air Slash. No, he won't. Oh, he went for the Cresselia this time. And obviously Water Spout with the Jellicent, it's not gonna It's gonna take out the Hariyama. That's the biggest problem here. It's gonna take out the Hariyama. Now another air slash flinch. Can we not? Can we not? This is not the way I wanted to start off this episode at all. This is not the way I wanted to start this episode off at all. This Togekiss should have been dead. But, definitely gonna take care of it now with the freaking Ferrothorn and just go for a Gyro Ball on it. Because I am not down to deal with the stupidity of what is going on right now. So you withdraw a Jellicent, that's fine. That is fine with me. And then go into Heatran, which is at least he took out the Jellicent for what it's worth. And then we get a Gyro Ball off on the annoying Togekiss that made us miss out on 2 turns. So that, I guess, a crit makes up for it. Not really, but Haxie battle so far. Camerupt completely useless now, unless I take out this Jellicent with the thing is I won't be able to because he's just gonna attack me with Heatran, and he's obviously just gonna go for a Water Spout. But honestly, this game, after the two turns that I lost out on there with the air slash flinches, it was already starting to look like, hey, good game. I mean, that first turn of the Trick Room Jellicent was really weird, but I guess it worked out. I mean, I could have gone for Trick Room again, but this was this was not a very good game to start this series, not this series, but this episode off with. So, as I thought he was going to go for a fire move, take out Ferrothorn. Obviously, no way I'm living that, but there's really nothing else I could do at this point. I'm just going to forfeit the game and hope that the next one isn't as haxy, I guess. The thing is, with air slash flinches, it's less, I want to say it's maybe like with Serene Grace, like 30% chance. It's not even that much. It's not 50. I'll tell you that much. It's not even half. So, yeah, I'm going to forfeit that match. That match was not fun. I'll tell you that much. That match was not fun. I couldn't get Trick Room off after the flinch, and the Togekiss should have been done a lot earlier, but it happens. So, moving on. Hopefully the next game isn't going to be that bad, so I'm not going to save that. We're going to go into game 2 because I like to do 2 games for these. And we will continue battling and hope that the next game isn't as terrible. I mean, I guess to be fair, they were in the 1600s, so they were somewhat decent. So, 60? Why is it 60%? That's so stupid. Serene Grace plus air slash, apparently 60%. It freaking paid off because I got flinched twice. I am not down with that. I am not down with that. So my rating drops, as we all would have expected from losing. But I do not do the things. Like, I do not bring flinch Rachi with Iron Head. I don't bring air slash flinching other stuff. No, I don't do that stuff. That is just a type of thing that I'm just like, that's what you're gonna do. No. But oh boy, Kanga. Should have kind of expected that, but he does have 1 Intimidator. Chances of him bringing it though, I don't think they're very likely. If he sees my Milotic. The Cresselia is gonna be annoying to deal with. It's like, this team though doesn't really have a good way of dealing with it, honestly. But other than, like, the thing is with Cresselia, I've gone against so many weird sets. Like, I understand using it for Trick Room, but I've been against like toxic stalling sets in VGC. Why are you toxic stalling in VGC? With Gengar though, I could expect a Gengar lead because Gengar can carry Taunt in case he expects me to lead with my Cresselia. Obviously, I'd be able to live any hit, but the problem is if he leads off with like Gengar, Kanga, and then fakes out the Cresselia and taunts, that would be an issue unless he's not expecting the Mental Herb, but that's still kind of a risk I don't want to take. So, And obviously I can't fake out the Gengar, and I'm not going to outspeed a Kanga's fake out to really make that matter. So I'm almost thinking about leading with Hariyama Cresselia, but having Ferrothorn in the back. So I'm going to do that, Hariyama Cresselia. At the same time though, he'd probably want to fake out the Hariyama anyway if I did that. So he wouldn't be as concerned with the Cresselia, but I'm going to keep Ferrothorn in the back. And then I'm thinking about whether or not I want to be Caramouth. I mean, he doesn't have a water type really, so Caramouth would be able to hit hard on a decent amount of stuff, especially if I do manage to get a Helping Hand boosted like Heat Wave off. The only thing that would make me not want to go for that would be the Heatran if he ends up bringing it, but that's kind of like, I don't know, he may or may not. I'm just really not expecting him to bring the Landorus with the Intimidate because he saw the Milotic and doesn't really want to give me a competitive boost. So like I said, he does lead off with the Kanga and the Gengar. Now, I feel like this puts him in a spot where he has to fake out the Hariyama. Otherwise, he's dead to a close combat. And the Gengar is probably going to want to taunt me. And the thing is, if he wants to fake out taunt the Cresselia expecting the Mental Herb, then I'm just getting a close combat off on the Kanga. So I'm going to go for close combat on the Kanga and do that. And then go for Trick Room on the Cresselia. I'm not scared of a Shadow Ball or anything coming from the Gengar because I would be able to live it anyway because I'm especially bulky. So, like I said, I think he's going to go for the fake out on the Hariyama, or he just goes for a Protect. Alright, well, since he carries Protect, they don't usually carry Taunt. But, I mean, they don't usually carry Fake Out, but that's where my Mental Herb is going to prop, and I'm still going to be able to get a Trick Room off, which is going to put me in a really good spot. The only thing is now, I have to break the Gengar Sash, because usually these Gengars have Sash, because they're a pretty frail Pokemon, so I'm trying to think of Pokemon he had in the back. Landorus was one of the Pokemon he had in the back. Whether or not he'd want to switch out Kanga and go for it, I don't know. I'm also thinking about what else might have resisted. Like, Heatran didn't resist. Sylveon would have resisted it, so it would resist a close combat if he does have it in the back. I could also double attack the Gengar and get it out of the way. Just go for a knockoff and then go for a Ice Beam or Psychic on it. I'm just really thinking that now that Trick Room is up, he is not going to want to attack Hariyama. So, I'm going to go for the knockoff on the Gengar. And then, I'm just trying to think of what else he had in the back besides Sylveon. I know he had a Heatran, but he wouldn't switch in a Heatran, obviously. I just really think he's not going to leave the Kanga in. Oh, well, I ran out the timer. Like, that's what happens when I think too much. Like I said, he wasn't going to keep it in, and Sylveon's in the back. I get a Helping Hand boosted knockoff, which is useless. I really need to change my first slot. I would have been able to take care of this if I just went for Psychic on it. I should have just gone for Psychic on it instead of thinking too much, because now I'm still going to take a decent amount of damage from a Shadow Ball. I mean, it's still less than half, and a special defense drop, which is going to matter because he did go out into a Sylveon. And I know that I need to keep this guy around. I have to keep my Hariyama around, so I do have Ferrothorn in the back. I have to go into Ferrothorn to resist the Hyper Voice. That's kind of inevitably going to come my way. And just go for a Psychic on the Gengar. I really wish I would have gotten off that last turn, but that's my fault for running out the timer. Completely my fault. I have to work on the timer situation. The timer situation is I'm really bad with the timer situation. I really am. And then if you're also watching this far, you can always post team suggestions in the comments below. I figured I'd run a Trick Room team for fun today as opposed to my usual. And then he goes into Gengar here. And I don't know if he's going to bring out Kanga. No, he actually did bring Landorus, which the Intimidate is going to matter on the Ferrothorn, but not really on the Cresselia. Like I said, the Hyper Voice, I guess the Hyper Voice didn't really matter since, I mean, the special defense drop didn't really matter since, I took that anyway. Now, here, I don't, because we're still in Trick Room, I don't think the Sylveon is gonna want to stay in. And the thing is, if he does, then he's taking a Gyro Ball. There's like, it's inevitable. He's taking a Gyro Ball, and then I can outspeed and hit the Landorus. Even though I am at -1, Gyro Ball would still do a considerable amount to the Sylveon. So, that did a lot less than I thought it would. I actually thought it would have done a lot more. Unless it's an actual defensive Sylveon. Because any other time I've attacked Sylveon, it's just like, even at -1, I figured, okay, Oko, it's done. But he goes for Superpower now, which I'm actually not used to seeing Superpower on Landorus. And he takes some Iron Barbs and Rocky Helmet, which I guess is useful. But since he does carry Superpower, it's going to put him at a disadvantage for his attack and his defense. So we are still in Trick Room, so I might as well use up the last few turns of my Trick Room wisely. I think we are on one more turn. And I have to take out the Sylveon. First thing that I'm going to do, the thing is, I'm almost thinking that he might switch out Landorus, because he knows he can get an Intimidate off on the Hariyama and I can't switch out. So I almost want to close combat that slot, predicting a Kanga to come in. But it is really, really, really risky, because that leaves me open to the Sylveon right now. Unless I manage to take it out with an Earth Power. So that's really the situation. And this is where he withdrew Landorus. So at least did that play. Oh, I forgot he had Gengar. This is where I'm like, oh, he has Kanga left, but no, he also has Gengar left. I totally forgot about Gengar. That's really unfortunate. I'm hoping at least the Earth Power does enough to take out the Sylveon, and it does, so I don't have to take a Hyper Voice, thank goodness. And obviously close combat's not going to affect the Gengar, and this is where Twisted Dimensions turn to normal. And he can go into Landorus and get an Intimidate off on me, to where obviously close combat isn't going to be able to take out my Pokemon anymore. He could go for an Earthquake here. It would do a decent amount, if anything. No, he's not going to take it out because it's split damage, but it would do a decent amount, and his Gengar would be a Levitator. I might as well take out the Gengar. Or, unless he really, really wants to, he's not going to want to withdraw and go into Kanga. I think that's too risky. We already figured out that Kanga doesn't have Fake Out either, because he carries Protect. So I could go for the Gengar here and knock it off. And then go for, honestly, Ancient Power is the only thing. Not the only thing, but... Or I could just go for Heat Wave and then double target. Yeah, I can go for Heat Wave and then double target the Landorus slot. So I'm gonna knock off. I ran out of time again. I need to stop this. I'm so bad with the timer. I am so bad with the timer. I knew I was gonna go for Earthquake, but I couldn't really do much about it. That's why I was better off just double attacking. And I went for Stone Edge, and it manages to hit. Obviously with the Intimidate, it's not going to be able to take it out, but Heat Wave would take it out from here. I'm just going to go for Knockoff on the Gengar here, and then I have to just go for Heat Wave. Well, I guess it didn't really matter what I went for in that scenario. I don't have Protect on Hariyama or anything, which sucks. And then, obviously, I feel like this thing is either... I don't know damage too well, so I mean, it takes me out anyway, so he might have been banded. I don't know. But that is a good game. So on multiple occasions, I have messed up with the timer. This wasn't exactly the best episode, I will admit. I messed up at the time with the timer. I knew if I took out that Gengar in the first turn, then the close combat issue wouldn't have been as big of a deal later on, and also Cresselia wouldn't have had to take the unnecessary damage and the special defense drops. So as you can tell, watch out for the timer. because it really screws you over. And then make sure that the first move in your slot, like I cannot have helping hand as the first move in my slot. I just never bothered to change it out, but lessons learned, and hopefully it will be better in the next episode. So as always, I love you guys very much, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and bye.